Welcome to Empire Life's TRIIPPS seminar, the 90% Retirement Income Factor. I'm Peter Wouters, and joining me today is Jeff Gibson, Director of Investment Marketing and Product Development. Fall is often referred to as income season or RIF season, since clients begin to think about moving their registered retirement savings plan over to a registered retirement income fund, and in general, they start to take an income from their investments at this time of year or set up their affairs now to begin income payments in January. In keeping with that theme, today we're going to touch on the opportunities in the income market and highlight the income solutions offered to the Empire Life Insurance Company and Empire Life Investments Incorporated. Specifically, we'll be covering off guaranteed lifetime income, what that means, why it's important, and how much people really need, the role of the advisor, the 90% retirement income factors. We'll explore some options for pensionizing personal assets. We'll look at the income market opportunity and then share with you some income solutions. The interest in guaranteed lifetime income and its importance to aging Canadians is growing rapidly. 2/3 of people aged 55 to 75 like the idea of guaranteed lifetime income. 80% of Canadians see it as a highly valuable supplement to government benefits. Only 45% of those with financial assets of $100,000 or more are highly confident in their ability to maintain their standard of living in retirement with the portfolios they have. This value held by Canadians for guaranteed lifetime income is in addition to government-sponsored plans. There are gender differences and concerns. For instance, 1/3 of women are highly concerned about being able to maintain their standard of living in retirement. Almost 4 in 10 women fret about long-term care expenses in old age. These figures are almost double those of men. This is understandable when you consider that women live longer than men, and a higher proportion of elderly women live alone and in poverty. Although people are living much longer, they are not necessarily working longer or able or willing to work longer. That leads to a longer time frame for people to be financially independent and feel comfortable that they can keep that up. They require more resources that will last longer to cover expenses. What do Canadians want in terms of pension-style retirement plan features? On a scale of 1 to 10, here are the average rankings of the top 5 features Canadians look for. I want a retirement income that is guaranteed to last my entire lifetime. I want a retirement income that is predictable. I also want retirement income that keeps pace with inflation. I want a pension or retirement savings plan that will provide income if I am forced to retire earlier than planned. And I want an income that does not fluctuate with investment results. Guaranteed lifetime income. What is your why? This becomes an important value-added approach for you as advisors. Find out each client's why, then figure out how much. Well, why more guaranteed lifetime income? Average life expectancy has been increasing to the late 80s for men and women who have already reached the age of 65. Remember, too, that life expectancy measures the point in time where half the people have passed away. The other half will live longer. Living longer costs more. Maintaining health, recuperating your health, and dealing with health issues costs more, too. This adds to the ongoing fear of encroaching on your income and outliving your income. Fewer people have defined benefit pension plans through work. Market volatility and contributing factors to make guaranteed lifetime income more appealing, especially to cover regular fixed expenses, exists. There's never increasing onus on individuals to ensure they structure their long-term assets in such a way that they have sustainable, secure income through the various stages of retirement, and that the income flow is guaranteed, freeing up their worries, the worries of their partners and their children, and those who need to step in and manage their financial affairs due to incapacity. But there's more. Coupled with the increasing complexity involved in coordinating an increasing number of potential income sources, which may come in at different times, are taxed differently, have different levels of guarantees, have varying degrees of flexibility, and involve different levels of involvement by people, is the factor that the stakes can get higher, and those higher stakes can occur later in life. That is the stakes of not making a mistake, when there may be little or no opportunity to recuperate. One challenge is keeping up with the requisite financial knowledge to make ongoing, informed decisions that support the priorities and values of those people as they age. People are subjected to acronyms and jargon that add to confusion, making them feel ignorant or ill-informed, and frankly, turn them off. There is also the reality of dealing with blended families, where individuals come into our relationships with established and perhaps conflicting ideas and experiences with finances. Add this to different priorities and timelines. Why do aging Canadians want more guaranteed lifetime income? It's easier for them to maintain their lifestyle. It simplifies their financial management and allows them to focus on their lifestyle. And lastly, it makes it easier for families or caregivers to manage when they become incapacitated. Health, mobility, and cognitive issues can impede people's ability to access financial services and make financial decisions, act on them promptly, and be protected from financial exploitation, from elder abuse and fraud as they age. Social isolation, the loss of control, and independence are key worries that plague aging Canadians as they try and manage their finances and provide that level of guaranteed lifetime income. Complicating all of this are the realities that these things affect different people in different ways, and to different degrees, and at different times in their lives. People need to plan and prepare for the unexpected. The Financial Stages of Older Canadians report found that 6 out of 10 Canadians aged 50 over experienced a major life event that challenged their prior financial plans. That's a lot of stuff on the worry plate. But most aging Canadians don't have a retirement plan. They don't have a retirement income plan, and they may have little desire to actively and consistently engage in planning. In fact, less than 1 out of 5 aging Canadians have a retirement income plan. Let's look at Ontarians, for example. In the Investors Office 2017 Investing as We Age report, found that only 14% of Ontarians aged 45 and over had a formal written retirement plan. Over half had no plan at all. Most leave it too long and devote comparatively little time and effort to the process. Here's what I found out over the years. In complicated times, people want simple solutions to complicated problems. People highly value simplicity, quality, peace of mind, and predictability. This is even more important for women, especially aging women. How you position and name things makes a difference to your clients. Well, what do I mean by that? Well, research shows that 70% of guaranteed lifetime income product owners are satisfied with them, and 60% consider guaranteed income products to be highly important to their financial security. But 41% were less interested if the product was labeled as an income annuity or a segregated fund. 41% didn't even know what an annuity was, and 2/3 of people didn't know what segregated funds were. One takeaway is to spend more time and attention on what these products can do for the client than spending time on what they are. Focus on the application first and how it can help the client, and then reveal the product used. The study also found that 1 out of 5 respondents owned income annuities or segregated funds. That begs the question of how well advisors really understand these products and the strategies that use them. We can certainly help there, and hopefully we'll help you on that today. The Senior Strategy Report, released in 2018, cited a study that found that women aged 65 and older had the lowest financial knowledge scores out of women of any age group. Men aged 65 and older had the lowest financial knowledge scores out of men of any age group other than 18 to 24-year-olds. The scary thing is that people aged 65 and over were more likely to say that they have a good or excellent understanding of investing compared to those people ages 45 to 64. And men feel more optimistic about this than women. Women don't feel as financially literate as men do. They're more likely to seek financial counsel. They tend to be quite loyal once relationships have been established. All good things when you're developing relationships with female clients. The big issues are that, 1, most advisors view treating women the same way as men. That may well not work. The second issue is that less than 50% of these women are confident in the quality of advice that they get from their advisor. Eventually, they switch advisors. Many advisors are not focused on this area, and many are not properly equipped to effectively and properly deal with retirement income planning. It doesn't help that the guidance from regulators and the law haven't kept up with all of these things. It's coming. Consider action plans set up in Ontario, Quebec, New Brunswick, in the appointment of a financial literacy leader across the country under the Financial Consumer Agency of Canada. This points out a key role of advisors, namely to provide meaningful, relevant, and actionable education and information. And again, we can help with appropriate best practices. Where is the focus in retirement income discussions? For 75% of respondents working with advisors, their retirement income discussions focused on dividend and interest-paying investments and asset withdrawals. Do these strategies generate lifetime guaranteed income? The content of conversations matters too. The 2018 Canadian Guaranteed Lifetime Income Study found that 79% of respondents were satisfied with the financial advice they received. 73% of Canadians believe that financial advisors have a responsibility to discuss guaranteed lifetime products. Only 1/3 had guaranteed lifetime income conversations with their advisor. Clients expect advisors to inform them about guaranteed lifetime retirement income options, but the majority of advisors continue to be focused on wealth accumulation strategies. They believe and act like the strategies and behaviors that help build wealth to retirement can be used and or used the same way when deploying retirement income strategies. These are grossly mistaken beliefs, as my sessions on retirement myths and conventional approaches to rules of thumb demonstrate. Most advisors don't even have the discussion about guaranteed lifetime income. There to discuss is a catalyst to switch advisors and will become an even bigger issue for advisors and firms if not addressed. Now you may be thinking, insurance-based investments and specifically segregated funds. Yeah, so what? You're an insurance company. Naturally you favor them. What else is in it for the advisors? These survey results I'm sharing with you now about financial advice and insurance-based products should pique your interest in learning more and incorporating these products in active, ongoing discussions with your clients. Of those clients who don't own segregated funds, less than 21% highly recommend their advisor to someone else. Compare that to owners of segregated funds, where almost 30% of owners highly recommend their advisor to someone else. What's more, of those people who own segregated funds, only about 10.6% are considering switching their advisors. This jumps to almost 16%. 15.7% of people who don't own segregated funds consider switching advisors. I call this the 50% factor. That's the advantage to you for incorporating segregated funds even more actively into the portfolio recommendations you make, because it resolves in more referrals and more stickiness of assets and clients. And by the way, we sell mutual funds too, offering the same value in quality asset selection, portfolio construction, and performance. If guarantees aren't as important to you as they may be to your clients. As people age, and in particular as women age, they become more and more concerned about the threat of outliving their money, about long-term care expenses, and being a burden on their families, especially their children. Statistically, they outlive men and develop chronic conditions that impact their quality of life, their standard of life, and their ongoing ability to do what they want to do, when they want to do them, and how long they want to do those things. They are far less interested in the hottest stock tip of the month or the performance of their investments than on what their money can allow them to do for their families, their communities, and their favorite causes. Their focus tends to be longer term and for justifiable reasons. It makes sense then that having a solid foundation and comprehensive income plan is important. Making the execution and maintenance of that plan easier for them as they age and for the people that may need to step in to manage things for them are highly viewed and highly valued. Men may feel the same way about the assets that will likely be managed, controlled, and eventually passed on to their aging female partners. Recognize that financial decisions impact people. They often involve getting advice from others. The conversations, circumstances, and coordination may well change as people progress through the various phases of what we still call retirement. This drives the need for ongoing engagement, as pointed out in the senior strategy developed by the Ontario Securities Commission in March of 2018. How much retirement income do you want guaranteed for life? 3/4 of women and just over 6 out of 10 men think guaranteed lifetime income should cover essential living expenses. Women rank guaranteed lifetime income as important at all stages of retirement. The numbers of people covered by defined benefit pension plans, where the amount that retirees will get is set for life, continue to drop. And we can have a lively debate over the long-term viability of government retirement benefits. The growing issues are that people may not be eligible for those benefits. They may not get the maximum amounts, and or may have those benefits clawed back depending on how much other reportable income they have. That means coordinating and reviewing those other sources of income to ensure that people can optimize government benefits to which they feel entitled. If people want a base of guaranteed income, they may have to supplement or replace those other guaranteed sources of income with vehicles that can provide something similar. More people are building and relying on personal investments. One problem may be that those sources of income may be volatile, and more people are invested in volatile investments whether they know it or not. More people are building and relying on personal investments, so they need to plan for the unexpected. How much retirement income do you want guaranteed? I'm not a big fan of rules of thumb. I spend so much time sharing research on why they don't work and why people, especially aging women, don't like them. That's why I say it depends. Advisors need to find out how much for a particular client. Suffice to say, essential living expenses that are the must-haves, not nice-to-haves, are often matched with guaranteed income. That is to say, if the expenses are steady and guaranteed to be there, then match them up with guaranteed income. If those expenses last a lifetime, then so should the income source. The amount varies by stage in retirement, life events, the amount of total income-producing assets, risk tolerance, longevity, company-defined benefit pension plans if they're available, your partner's income sources and types, your ability to make your own decisions, the amount of government benefits, the amount and complexity of ongoing investment decisions, concerns over longevity and market volatility, and the need for liquidity. That's a lot to think about. So you're still looking for a cookie-cutter approach? Well, it's the questions you ask, not the products you offer. Focus on process, not percentage. Your call to action is finding out and revisiting what's important to clients along the way and setting up the appropriate amount of guaranteed income to support it. Which brings us to the 90% factors and retirement income, what most aging Canadians want. 97% want predictable income. 90% are willing to contribute more to ensure it. 98% want a lifetime income. And 91% are willing to pay more to guarantee a secure lifetime retirement income. People don't want to risk losing this and risk making mistakes. As we age, there is less room for error. Think about cognitive abilities, sensory impairment, even sight and hearing, access to pertinent knowledge, if only because of physical issues that lead to social isolation. The increased ratio of fixed versus variable expenses due to lifestyle freedom and your ability to move about. Your time to recover from losses in assets and the value of those assets, losses in income streams, the death of a partner, payments that cease after a certain number of years. What about extraordinary expenses that may reduce investable assets that are generating the income stream, or returns that are lower than planned in the early years of withdrawal, or perhaps even negative returns in the early years of withdrawal, referred to as sequence of return risk? It could in fact be any combination of these things. With less room for error, guarantees naturally become more desirable. Product type solutions should not be positioned as an either-or decision, but rather how much of each depending on objectives, stage of life, personal circumstances, and preferences. This is a key anchor in discussions, plans, and programs about retirement income planning. We need to stop putting up hard and fast choices if we are all to benefit from the power that each type of income-producing vehicle can bring and to offset the drawbacks that each has. Benefits and drawbacks can change depending on where people are in their lives, what's happening to them and around them. Combination approaches may well optimize retirement income planning in general, providing flexibility, diversification, and solutions for all of a client's needs and wants in providing guaranteed lifetime income. Certain strategies lend themselves to particular products well. Consider income tax on cash flows from investable assets, government programs, and company benefits, if any. The focus should be on spendable cash flow, and cash flow that is regular, reliable, and responsive to particular needs for guaranteed income that may be needed for a lifetime, though they may not have been the case originally. In looking for options for pensionizing personal assets, let's start with the more commonly used and recommended ones. The first three are the ones that advisors seem to be more comfortable with recommending and the retirees hear about much more frequently. Withdrawing interest, dividends, and capital from GICs, segregated funds, and maybe even mutual funds. Systematic withdrawal plans, again, using segregated funds or maybe even mutual funds if that's possible. Series T mutual funds, which offer a tax-efficient return of capital first. If you look at options 1 and 2, they require ongoing maintenance and decision-making. They're hard to put on autopilot and structures as worry-free, maintenance-free, simple-to-handle solutions. And if clients were truly satisfied that these first three options met their definition of guaranteed lifetime income, then why does research say otherwise? Why are there continued efforts by governments and think tanks to create more lifetime guaranteed income that don't use these approaches? Their focus is on the type of income that the next two items provide. Personal pension plans, which are maintenance-free, offer guaranteed lifetime income, and can be offered through an annuity. And guaranteed withdrawal benefit plans offered through segregated funds. I've already pointed out two issues that can be another call to action for advisors. Consumers don't hear much about how these two options work. They, along with a number of advisors, have a predisposition to dislike these options even though they don't know how, when, and how well they can fulfill a client's checklist of ideal solutions. They choose the apparent easy way and build a program that is more difficult to administer when trying to generate guaranteed lifetime income. The solutions they choose for guaranteed and variable income are the same, and therein lies a flaw. Finally, all insurance-based investments have contractual guarantees and deposit protection coverage. Each one has benefits and drawbacks. When you look at insurance-based investments, you need to understand and explain fees and costs. Fees aren't necessarily higher. The fees may be higher for insurance-based investments, but the overall cost may well be lower because these investments are protected under Assurance, which is a nonprofit organization that we belong to that protects Canadian policyholders in the event their life insurance company fails. These investments also can lock in gains on investment funds, and they make for simpler reporting for income taxes, saving you time, headaches, and costs. Properly set up, the proceeds of insurance-based investments may bypass probate on death and offer privacy. They are paid directly to named beneficiaries. There is even the potential for creditor protection, particularly important for business owners. That's why these features may be very attractive and beneficial to investors. They speak to considerations on risk, volatility, peace of mind, simplicity, privacy, predictability, and quality. Built-in costs and may be far less than the extra costs involved in tax preparation, drawing up legal documents, and dealing with an estate to replicate the benefits offered through insurance-based investments. Let's spend some time on these 5 product solutions and the income tax considerations. When used in registered retirement plans, the income from all of these products is fully taxable as ordinary income. As a planning point, Series T mutual funds should not be used in registered products since the benefits of the product are lost. This is true whether we are talking about registered retirement savings plans, registered retirement income funds, or tax-free savings accounts. So let's compare these products in non-registered setups. With guaranteed interest contracts, the interest is taxable whether it's withdrawn or not. These plans and the income coming from it are eligible for the pension credit and income splitting at age 65. Guaranteed investment funds offer income that is where the interest is fully taxable, where the income may be reduced, and you have reduced taxes on dividends, realized capital gains and losses, and of course there's no tax on return of capital. With Series T mutual funds, you are taxed on the realized growth every year. Return of capital payments are tax-free and weighted to the front end of income stream payments. With an annuity, you are taxed on the interest portion of the payments only. That taxable amount is fixed, making income and tax planning easier and more predictable. And with guaranteed withdrawal benefit plans, The interest is fully taxed. You have reduced taxes on dividends and realized capital gains and losses. Payouts may be largely capital gains, and of course there's no tax on return of capital. Now all this information may be quite familiar to you, but studies have shown that pre- and post-retirees want and need to know the income tax implications and penalties associated with their investments. Only about half get this information from their advisors. Again, the focus on income should be on net cash flow, not gross income. That can materially change the effectiveness of certain products and strategies. That brings us to some case studies and applications using two products that don't seem to get enough airtime in conversations and educational sessions with clients. Jeff, over to you.
Thanks, Peter. And as Peter just mentioned, I'm going to walk you through some client case studies which may look very similar to income solutions your clients are looking for right now. I'll then provide you with the Empire Life product solutions that can be used to meet these client income needs. So before we begin the case studies, I thought I would take a moment to talk about the importance of focusing on your client's needs when it comes to income solutions. Clients will have a variety of needs to be taken into consideration when selecting income products. One example is the need for guaranteed income, which is increasing every year as fewer employees have access to guaranteed income through defined benefit pension plans. There may also be a need for tax-efficient withdrawals from non-registered accounts to reduce government benefit clawbacks, a need for flexibility in the amount of income that can be taken each year, as well as estate planning considerations like probate and estate bypass. And finally, where your client is in their retirement planning life cycle also has a huge impact on the product that is best suited to meeting their needs. Now, finding a product that will effectively meet all of these needs is a tall order. Depending on your client's specific needs, the income strategy you create may encompass a combination of products, since each product will meet some of those needs but not others. However, for some of your clients whose needs are more defined, a single income solution may be appropriate. I'm now going to show you 3 client cases where there is a need for a guaranteed income solution. Then I'm going to show you the one product solution that fits them all. Perhaps you can guess what it is before I present the solution. Our first client scenario is Sue, age 65, who is in good health and planning on retiring at the end of this year so she can enjoy her retirement years and help take care of her grandchildren, which of course will help alleviate the cost of childcare for her 2 adult children. Now, Sue worked hard after re-entering the workforce after her divorce to make sure that she paid off her house before she retired. And her priority is to be able to stay in that house to not only take care of the grandchildren while they are young, but also to continue to tend to the gardens which bring her satisfaction. Now, Sue anticipates having about $24,000 in fixed living expenses each year, which equates to $2,000 a month, and wants to ensure that these are covered with a guaranteed income solution. Now, as she doesn't have a defined benefit pension plan to rely on, her only source of guaranteed income she has will be her CPP and OAS benefits. Now, as Sue joined the workforce later in life, for the sake of this example, we are going to assume that she will receive the average monthly payment for someone starting their CPP at age 65, which is about $666 a month as of March 2018, rather than the maximum CPP amount. This works out to about $8,000 a year. We will also assume that Sue is going to receive the average monthly OAS payment of about $596 a month, which equates to about $7,150 a year. Now, adding these 2 government sources together leaves Sue with an annual shortfall of about $8,800 a year, or about $750 a month. So the question now is, how can Sue generate $750 a month in guaranteed income to meet her fixed payments? Our second scenario is Mike, who is 73 and retired. He's got a very healthy retirement income coming in from a defined benefit pension plan, as well as some other investments. He also has about $300,000 invested in a non-registered Empire Life gift account, which he plans to use to form an inheritance for his grandchildren, who he has named as the beneficiaries for his policy. Now, while Mike doesn't plan on using these investments to fund his retirement, he does want to maintain control of these investments until he passes away. So 2 of Mike's grandchildren, Jen and Steve, have begun their careers, purchased houses, and have started families with their spouses. Mike has no concerns that both Jen and Steve will put their shares of their inheritance towards good work. However, Mike is concerned that Mitchell, his last grandchild, may not be as responsible with a sudden six-figure inheritance. Regardless of their fiscal responsibilities, Mike loves all of his grandchildren equally and wants them all to benefit equally from his non-registered gift account when he passes away. How can Mike meet his need for a flexible inheritance solution? And our final client scenario is Mary, who is 70 years of age, in good health, and very active in the community. She is predeceased by her husband 2 years ago and has 2 adult daughters with children of their own. Now, Mary is interested in leaving a legacy to her children and perhaps also a charitable bequest when she passes away. Mary's income sources are derived primarily from survivor benefits from her husband's work pension, CPP, OAS, a modest equity portfolio, and a sizable fixed income portfolio comprised of GICs and T-bills. Now, Mary's fixed income investments total about $400,000, with the average rate of return on the total portfolio being about 2.25%, and her marginal tax rate being about 40%. Now, despite Mary's modest lifestyle and her various income sources, she is concerned about future income needs. She's concerned about low interest rates, also concerned about market volatility, inflation, and, of course, her grandchildren's future. How can Mary increase the rate of return on her portfolio without dipping into her capital and still be able to leave a legacy to her children and also to a charity? By now, many of you may have guessed that a solution for all 3 of these client scenarios is, of course, an immediate annuity. Annuities are a source of income that can be appropriate for clients who are looking for a guaranteed income for life solution or a guaranteed income solution for a specific period of time. Annuities can be based on a single or joint life, and a guarantee period may be chosen on a life annuity. Annuities are less flexible than other products in that once the annuity is purchased, the income amount and payment schedule cannot be changed. In many ways, the payments from an annuity can be thought of as being very similar to the payments a client may receive through a defined benefit workplace pension plan once they have begun taking their income. While the payments will continue for the life of the client, there is no way to access the assets, so there is no access to capital after purchase. Empire Life offers a single premium immediate annuity which allows your clients to select the type of income stream they need to meet their needs and can be purchased with registered, non-registered, and locked-in funds. So let's take a quick look at how the Empire Life immediate annuity solution helps Sue, Mike, and Mary meet their goals. So we know that Sue is looking to create about $750 a month, or approximately $9,000 a year, in guaranteed income for life to cover her fixed expenses. Sue met with her advisor, and he ran an annuity quote for an Empire Life single premium immediate annuity with a 10-year guarantee period. The 10-year guarantee period means that should she pass away during the first 10 years of payments, her beneficiaries will receive a commuted value for the balance of payments owed to her. Now, based on Sue's age, sex, guarantee period, purchase date, and income start date, which we'll assume is January 1st of 2019, Sue would be able to purchase a registered annuity to meet her guaranteed income goals for about $158,500. Sue thought this was a good idea, so her and her advisor completed the Empire Life single premium immediate annuity application and submitted it to Empire Life along with the annuity quote in order to guarantee that annuity rate. Sue and her advisor then transferred that amount from her RSP at another financial institution to purchase the immediate annuity at Empire Life. Once Sue's annuity payments start, she can then rest easy knowing that her fixed expenses of $24,000 will be covered by CPP, OAS, and Empire Life for the rest of her life. Now let's take a look at the second scenario, Mike. As Mike doesn't have any concerns about Jen and Steve's fiscal responsibility, he chooses for each of them to receive their death benefit proceeds paid via a lump sum, which is an option under the Empire Life annuity settlement option. However, Mike is concerned about Mitchell's ability to handle a large lump sum deposit, so he chooses to have his death benefit paid out via a 10-year term certain annuity under the annuity settlement option. With a term certain annuity, Mitchell will receive his $10,000 plus interest earned each year in equal payments over a 10-year period. It's important to note here that any annuity settlement option designation is part of the policy's beneficiary designation and is kept private. So Mitchell would not know that his siblings received their payments as a lump sum unless they told him. And as the owner of a policy, Mike retains the ability to change the payout structure at any time. So if in a few years Mike thinks that Mitchell would now be able to handle a lump sum payment, he can simply change the payout option for him. Now, I will point out that the annuity settlement option is available to all Empire Life investment as well as insurance products. Excuse me there. And finally, we have Mary. Now, as we described earlier, in many ways, Mary is your classic widow. She is risk-averse, nervous, and a bit of a worrier in general. Now, I'm sure you all have clients like this in your client base. Excuse me. However, Mary still wants some extra guaranteed income and remains concerned that her GIC portfolio may not generate enough income without her having to dip into her capital. So to address her personal income needs and family concerns, Mary's advisor suggests that she explore the opportunity of creating a guaranteed income and capital preservation strategy with $250,000 of her fixed income portfolio. Her advisor further suggests that Mary keep $150,000 of that liquid for emergencies and pleasure purposes. So after discussing her options with her advisor, Mary decides to invest $250,000 of her fixed income portfolio into an Empire Life immediate annuity to generate guaranteed income, and also purchase a $250,000 Empire Life estate max permanent insurance policy in order to leave that legacy she required. This strategy is commonly known as an insured annuity strategy. So here we have a comparison of the two options. The first is the income that would be generated if Mary left the $250,000 in her GIC portfolio, earning 2.25%. And the second is the income that is generated if she invests that $250,000 into an Empire Life immediate annuity. As the interest from the GIC is fully taxable, and Mary has a 40% marginal tax rate, she is left with an after-tax income of $3,375. Compare this to the immediate annuity option. Here, Mary would receive $15,784 in gross annual income, of which only $2,286 is taxable. So at Mary's 40% tax rate, she will pay only $914 in tax, leaving her with an after-tax income of $14,869. Now, of course, with this strategy, in order for Mary to leave a legacy, she must also pay the annual premium on her estate max life insurance, which is $10,339. So after paying the life insurance premium, we see that Mary now has an after-tax income of $4,530.44, compared to the after-tax income of $3,375, which she would have received with the GIC portfolio. So let's summarize the benefits of this strategy. The insured annuity strategy cuts the taxable amount by more than half, and the tax bite is now 40% of what it was, which may help with government benefits and tax credits. And there is an over one-third increase in after-tax cash flow. And after 16 years, an increasing legacy for the charity, children, and or grandchildren, potentially up to $400,000 by Mary's late 90s with the Estate Max product. And remember, the $150,000 not used in this strategy may have been saved or reinvested. Now, I'm the first one to admit this strategy does not work as well as it used to. The insured annuity strategy has been hit with decreasing interest rates, increasing insurance rates, and of course increasing taxation. But a one-third increase in after-tax cash flow and a re-tax rate of return is not to be ignored in this interest rate environment. And before we move on, I'll take the opportunity to mention here that you can easily generate an annuity quote for clients through the Empire Life website by going to Business Building and then go down through the menu to the Get Annuity Quote option. Once generated, the quote can be printed and the application downloaded and completed with your clients. Now, as you can see, while immediate annuities are often thought of as being inflexible, they can actually be the solution for a number of different client income needs. So if you have any clients like Sue, Mike, or Mary, you may want to consider investigating whether an Empire Life single premium immediate annuity can help them meet their income needs. Now let's take a look at 3 additional client scenarios. Just like before, there will be one product solution that is able to meet all of these client needs. Let's see if you can figure out what that solution is after I introduce Richard, Sarah, and Edward. So let's meet Richard. He just turned 65 this year and recently sold his small business with the intention of enjoying his retirement. As Richard is a small business owner, he doesn't have much in the way of registered savings, and he will be primarily using the proceeds of the sale of his business for about $1.5 million to fund his retirement. Now, Richard is a relatively savvy investor who plans on investing the majority of the proceeds of the sale into a diversified portfolio of equities and fixed income instruments. However, Richard's family has a history of living late into life, and he is concerned about the possibility of outliving his investments. So even though Richard is a savvy investor, he does value the certainty of having a guaranteed income stream in retirement beyond his CPP and OAS. However, he would still like to maintain control of his entire portfolio and wants to have some upside potential from all of his investments. So Richard has decided to allocate $750,000 of the sale to equities, another $350,000 to fixed income, and the remaining $400,000 to a guaranteed income solution. So how can Richard get the guaranteed income stream he is looking for, but still have upside potential and maintain control of his investments? Next we have Sarah. Sarah, age 50, works full-time as a marketing executive for a firm that has a generous matching program for their defined contribution plan. While Sarah is not overly concerned about having enough assets in her defined contribution plan at retirement, she is concerned about her ability to purchase a guaranteed income solution other than a traditional immediate annuity at her desired retirement age of 65. Sarah recently, and somewhat unexpectedly, received a $250,000 inheritance from a favorite uncle, and she would like to use that to purchase a guaranteed income solution that will now be available for her at age 65. How can Sarah use the inheritance now to provide a guaranteed income solution she wants when she turns 65? And finally, we have Edward. Edward turned 71 this year, which means that he now has to convert his RRSP balance to a RIF and begin taking income next year. Edward and his wife live rather frugally and both have a family history of excellent longevity. So while Edward doesn't plan on making any withdrawals in excess of his required RIF minimum each year, he is also concerned they could end up outliving his retirement savings. Edward is looking for a relatively steady income he can count on for budgeting purposes, and is also concerned that market swings could result in him having to withdraw substantially more than his RIF minimum in some years if there's a sustained market downturn. So how can Edward get the stable income he is looking for in his retirement? In case you haven't guessed it by now, the product solution to meet these 3 client scenarios is, of course, a guaranteed withdrawal benefit, or GWB. Now, GWBs are income solutions that provide guaranteed income for life, but allow clients to remain invested in the market for possible upside potential and still have an estate transfer if there are assets left over when the client passes away. Empire Life offers one of the few remaining traditional guaranteed withdrawal benefit products in the marketplace with our Class Plus 3.0 product. Class Plus 3.0 offers clients the ability to begin drawing guaranteed income for life as early as age 55, with unique payout rates going all the way up to age 80. The guaranteed income from Class Plus 3.0 can be increased through annual withdrawal deferral bonuses, which are available for the first 20 years of the contract, and also through triennial resets if markets are performing well. And unlike a traditional annuity, Class Plus 3.0 allows clients the flexibility to stop, start, or change their income payments at any time. And provided the client doesn't withdraw more than their guaranteed income each year, the guaranteed income from Class Plus 3.0 will continue as long as the client is alive, even if the market value of the product goes to zero. So let's take a look at how Class Plus 3.0 met the income needs for Richard, Sarah, and Edward. As you recall, Richard was looking to invest $400,000 into a guaranteed income solution. After meeting with his advisor, he decides to purchase a non-registered Class Plus 3.0 product and selects one of the funds offering an 80% equity exposure to maximize his upside potential. At the time Richard purchases the Class Plus 3.0 product, he is eligible for a guaranteed lifetime income of $16,000. The guaranteed income from a Class Plus 3.0 product is called the lifetime withdrawal amount, or LWA. This is calculated by multiplying the income base, which is set to equal the initial deposit, by the payout rate for Richard's age, which is 4% at age 65. Richard receives his $16,000 a year in guaranteed income for ages 65, 66, 67, and 68. However, in his 68th year, on his triennial policy anniversary, Richard receives an income base reset, as the market value of his policy is greater than the income base. And of course, in this diagram, the market value is the shaded blue background, and the reset is the check mark. The following year, Richard's guaranteed income then is increased from $16,000 to $19,336 a year. Richard then receives another triennial income base reset when he's 74, although he did not receive one when he was 71. And his income, his LWA is increased from the $19,336 up to $25,161 at age 74 because of that reset. It is important to note that the triennial income-based resets occur throughout the life of the Class Plus 3.0 contract. Looking further ahead, you can see Richard receives a final income-based reset the year he turns 95. So Richard's desire for a guaranteed income solution with upside potential is met by Class Plus 3.0. Since that was a very positive outcome for Richard in the markets, to be fair, let's take a look at a less optimistic scenario with Sarah, although a scenario that still meets her requirements. If you recall, Sarah was looking to ensure that she had a guaranteed retirement income stream, again, besides her CPP and OAS, available to her when she retires at age 65. After meeting with her advisor, Sarah decides to invest the inheritance of $250,000 she received into a non-registered Class Plus 3.0 contract. Now, I will point out that Class Plus 3.0 is available to be purchased in a tax-free savings account, as Peter mentioned earlier. However, Sarah has already maxed out her TFSA contribution room. So I mentioned earlier that the guaranteed income from a Class Plus 3.0 contract can be increased via the annual withdrawal deferral bonuses available for the first 20 years of the contract. Now, we call these income-based bonuses, as they are notional bonuses applied to the income base. And as I mentioned in Richard's example, the income base is set to equal the initial deposit, in this case $250,000, and is used to calculate the lifetime withdrawal amount when Sarah is ready to begin taking income. Now, the bonus rate for these deferral bonuses for Class Plus 3.0 is a guaranteed 4% of the bonus base, and the bonus base is also set to the initial deposit amount. So in this scenario, even though Sarah's market value declines by a negative 2% each year, her income base increases by $10,000 each year. So when Sarah is ready to begin taking income at age 65, even though the market value of her Class Plus 3.0 portfolio has shrunk from $250,000 to $136,000, her guaranteed income has actually increased from $10,000 to $16,000 a year, which is of course calculated by multiplying the income base, which would be $400,000, by her payout at 65, which would be 4%. Now, obviously, this is a very extreme negative example, but I wanted to use it to demonstrate how the income-based bonuses can provide your clients with additional guaranteed income at retirement, regardless of market performance. And last but not least, let's take a look at Edward. As you recall, Edward would turn 71 this year, so he has to roll his RRSP over to a RIF to begin taking income next year. After discussing his income needs with his advisor, he decides to roll his RRSP over to a Class Plus 3.0 RIF. Edward's advisor recommends Class Plus 3.0 because it not only provides him with an annual guaranteed income for life, but it also allows him to withdraw his RIF minimum if it is higher than the guaranteed income without penalty, which can happen in years there are positive market performance. As Edward doesn't need to begin taking income from his RIF this year, he is also eligible for 1 year's income-based bonus, which helps boost his guaranteed income going forward. So in this example, we see Edward's guaranteed income, or his LWA, as the green bar, and his RIF minimum, which is of course calculated based on market performance, as the blue bar. And as you can see, in some years the RIF minimum exceeds the LWA, which Edward is then able to withdraw without penalty. However, in other years where markets haven't performed as well, Edward continues to be able to withdraw the LWA from his Class Plus 3 contract, providing that steady source of guaranteed income he was looking for. And of course, with the Class Plus 3.0 RIF, not only does Edward benefit from positive market value performance through allowing the RIF minimum to be withdrawn when it's greater than the LWA, he also benefits from a boost in guaranteed income through the triennial income-based reset. And as you can see on this graph as well, via the check marks, Edward receives an income-based reset at ages both 74 and age 80. And finally, I will point out that if you are looking to get a better understanding of how Class Plus 3.0, the Class Plus 3.0 GWB solution works, or if you are ready to present this solution to any of your clients who may be like Richard, Sarah, or Edward, I suggest you check out our new online Class Plus 3.0 Illustrator. The Illustrator can be accessed via any internet-connected device by going to the Empire Life Advisor website and then navigating, of course, to the Business Builder tab and then the Class Plus 3.0 Illustrator link. So by now you've heard me walk you through 6 different client scenarios where we use 2 different products, an Empire Life Immediate Annuity and Empire Life's Class Plus 3.0 GWB product, to solve for different income needs. But as I mentioned at the beginning of at the beginning portion of my presentation, not only is each client's income need unique, but each income solution available has its own benefits and features. And in many cases, your clients may actually be served best through a combination of 2 or more different income products. So let's just do a quick review of the features side by side of the 2 Empire Life income solution products I described today. And then I'll wrap up with a final case study which compares using these 2 income solutions side by side and then also together to solve a client's income needs. Now on the left we have our Class Plus 3.0 product, which is of course a GWB. And on the right we have our Empire Life Single Premium Immediate Annuity. While both of these products provide a guaranteed lifetime income, with Class Plus 3.0, your clients are invested in the markets with an up to 80% equity exposure, whereas with an immediate annuity, the interest rate is set at the time of purchase. And with Class Plus 3.0, there is an opportunity to increase that guaranteed lifetime income through the income-based bonuses and income-based resets I described earlier in the presentation, whereas the payments with an immediate annuity are fixed. However, they usually provide a higher initial income than a guaranteed withdrawal benefit product. Now, with Class Plus 3.0, the guaranteed lifetime income rate is based on the annuitant's age, whereas with a guaranteed lifetime income from an immediate annuity, that rate is going to be based on the annuitant's age and sex, which is, of course, an important difference depending on the sex of your client. And while there are penalties for when more than the guaranteed income is withdrawn from Class Plus 3.0, your client does maintain full access to their capital, whereas with an immediate annuity, there is no access to the capital once the annuity has been purchased. So let's take a look at that final case study. Here we have John, age 67, who recently retired and needs to begin drawing income right away. John did not have a defined benefit pension plan from his employer, so he is looking to convert $300,000 from his RRSP into a guaranteed income solution. Now, John isn't overly concerned about liquidity when it comes to his guaranteed income, as he has other investments, including the remaining balance of his RRSP, that he can withdraw from if he needs to top up his retirement income. John understands the value of an additional guaranteed income solution beyond just his CPP and OAS, as he has several members of his immediate family live into their late 90s. So what you're looking at right here is a graph of the guaranteed income available each year from 3 different guaranteed lifetime income solutions. The blue line at the bottom is the guaranteed income available from investing all of the $300,000 of John's RSP into a Class Plus 3.0 product. The dark blue line, the red line is the guaranteed income that would be available from if the full $300,000 was invested in a Empire Life single premium immediate annuity. And the green line is the guaranteed income that would be available if $200,000 of that RSP money was invested into a Class Plus 3.0 contract and $100,000 was used to purchase an Empire Life single premium immediate annuity. Now in this scenario, I've assumed a simple 4% rate of return, which is calculated after the MER but before the insurance fee. Now as you can see, in this scenario, the single premium immediate annuity provides the most amount of income, but of course with that solution, John doesn't have any access to any of his capital. And the Class Plus 3.0 solution only provides the least amount of guaranteed income, as the capital is slowly eaten into by the annual RIF minimum withdrawals. Now, in this particular scenario, the combination of the single premium immediate annuity and Class Plus 3.0 actually gives John an amount of income that is lower than the SPIA, but higher, or the single premium immediate annuity, but higher than just purchasing Class Plus 3.0 by itself. So as you can see, having the products owned individually versus combining them together gives different income outcomes depending on the rate of return for the products. Now, to contrast this scenario, I'll also present the historical rate of return scenario, which demonstrates how these solutions could work under a different market condition. So in this particular scenario, I've chosen to use the historical rate returns for an 80% equity, 20% fixed income investment option in the Class Plus 3.0 product. So as you can see here with the SPIA, with the single premium immediate annuity red line, it provides a higher level of initial guaranteed lifetime income, but that income is flat, just like it was in the previous scenario. So while that income is higher immediately than either of the other two solutions, as you can see, positive market performance soon elevates the guaranteed income available from both the Class Plus 3.0 solution higher, as well as the Class Plus 3.0 plus single premium immediate solution as well. So while the Class Plus 3.0 solution only, which is the blue line, does provide the highest level of income, the single premium immediate annuity plus Class Plus 3.0 solution does provide a nice middle ground between the two options for clients who are willing to sacrifice a little bit of upside for an initial higher guaranteed income and potentially a higher guaranteed income at the end of the lifetime of the client. So to wrap things up today, I want to thank all of you for taking the time to tune into our Guaranteed Income webinar, the 90% Retirement Income Factor. Hopefully the information, case studies, and the Empire Life product solutions you heard Peter and myself talk about today can help you find the right income solutions for your clients. And finally, to wrap up with a little bit of housekeeping, if you are eligible for continuing education credits, your certificate will be emailed to you within the next 2 to 4 weeks. And if you would like to find out more about Empire Life's Guaranteed Income Solutions or want a copy of today's handouts, please contact your Empire Life sales representative. They will be very happy to further explain all of the benefits of Empire Life's Guaranteed Income Solutions. So on behalf of my colleague Peter Wouters and myself, I'd like to thank you again for tuning into today's webinar. And again, thank you all very much for your support of Empire Life. Have a great day.